Can I ask, though, because I didn't know about the passing of your father. I mean, he was young.
He was.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it sudden?
He was 55. It was sudden, yes.
How did you handle that from across the country?
It was very tough. I don't ever talk about this. Sage said she wanted to get deep and she was going to do this stuff. And she wanted to get to know me.
No, I didn't know about that. Shame on me for not knowing.
No, you don't. There's no shame. I don't talk about it a lot. And it's weird, Sage. It came up in my personal life this week. And I don't. So my dad killed himself when I was 25. My youngest brother was 15. I've got another brother who would have been 22 and a sister who would have been 18. She's freshman year in college, and I don't talk about it a lot. But the reason I don't talk about it is because I never. It's very in vogue to use your trauma as a identifier or a way to connect, and I just never want to make that and my dad transactional in this. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean by that? Like in this career, I don't want that to be something that. Like even talking to you now, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want anyone to, and it's just, and so I'm telling you it because it's true. It came up this week because there's a family here in Dallas with 4 kids and they're going through the exact same thing. And, I want to talk to that oldest son because I know what just happened in his life.
Makes sense about having to grow up right away, but you're a baby essentially at that age still at 25. And then feels like had to take over that man role, that fatherly role, especially because you came home in particular to be there for your younger brother. So you're trying to fill that role a little bit, but then deal with that at the same time.
Yeah. I remember people saying, I think Will's angry. Like, I'm worried he's angry. And I wasn't angry. I mean, I'm going through whatever emotions I'm going through, but, I can't speak for anybody else, but the way I deal with crisis is action. It's just the way I deal with it. And so it's like, what needs to be done? What's next? How do we move forward? How do we, you still have to take the time to grieve, but when somebody dies, there's a lot to be done. Like there's a lot of work that has to get done. And so I threw myself into that. I wound up his law practice, worked with my mom on her future finances and things like that. But you say I was a baby, and you're right. I mean, you're describing me. I was finding myself in Montana.
Right.
But like I think about guys that go off to war at 18. I think about people that get jobs, real jobs, right away. And we all have to grow up. And I think I was privileged in the fact that it didn't hit me in the face until I was 25.
Do you think you've fully dealt with it?
I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. You never know. I don't, I'm happy. Like I was just with some of my buddies this weekend out in East Texas. We were watching the Longhorns lose to Florida. And
I always think of you when Texas loses and wins, but loses in particular.
And it's guys don't do this. These are lifelong friends though.
Yeah.
Guys don't do this often. And somebody started asking me even about our career, like, but are you happy? And he's asking it almost skeptically. And I'm like, no, man, I'm really happy. Like, I feel productive. I feel I get to be in the state that I want to be in, doing my career. I don't think I've got anything buried deep, even on this subject.
That's incredible because you hear about that, unfortunately, more and more now. Mental health is finally discussed so much more than it ever was before. To me, the turning point, I think you were still at ESPN. We both were. When Kevin Love really came out and started talking about mental health and being very, very depressed. So it's good. It's progress that we've made, that people are talking about it more, I guess. But unless you've been through it.
I feel a little mixed on that.
Really?
I do. We definitely have a mental health crisis, but then we get into the why.
Right.
And look, just because that's how it worked for me doesn't mean that's how it's going to work for everybody else. And I'm not going to be able to quote the people that have said this, but they've said it much more eloquently than me that, like the best thing to do is to stop thinking about yourself. Almost stop thinking about your thoughts. I know that's not the modern day therapy mindset.
It's the opposite, right?
It's the opposite, but it's like I believe in self-awareness, but maybe not quite as much self-reflection. Self-reflection is important when you're looking at your own actions and your judgment, but to constantly ruminate, that's the word I'm looking for. Rumination I think, is the source of a lot of troubled thoughts, where, at least for men, I think action is the path to healing. I really do. Action and time is the path for moving forward.
Quite often, I think it can easily slide into, yes, action, and let's make ourselves super, super busy and not think about any of that and just dive in to the point where you're ignoring some things. I agree with you. It's a fine line. We grew up kind of the same time, and it's like, no, you're tough. You pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you keep going, right? Mm-hmm. What is that middle of the road thing, especially as a parent, where you don't want your boys in particular to feel like they can't talk about things, sure, but action, get to work?
Yeah. I've never been to therapy in my life. I don't know what that's like. I have a wonderful wife who was my girlfriend at the time and became, within a couple years, my fiance. And I talk to her all the time. So in a way, maybe she is my therapist. Sure. I don't know. We talk about everything together. So I don't know. I can't speak to the value of that entire exercise. I don't think it was necessary for me.